We've seen how to make a diagram for a decimal multiplication. We made a module for that to draw a grid. So we can now see how to do the diagram of this. Okay, now let's take the example here, 4.5 multiplied by 3.2, and we will now draw the diagram of this using the module we have created. So we are going to do this by 4 parts. So the first grid is going to be these ones, this squares. So 4 cross 3 grid, and then there is a grid of rectangles, the 1 by 10s, and here also a grid of 1 by 10s, and here is a grid of 1 by hundreds. So we are going to use the variables, and we are going to set it general for any numbers. So it will draw a grid for any numbers. So first, we are going to set two decimal numbers, A and B. Value to 3.2 and B to 4.5. Okay. So first I need a starting position for my pencil. So I go to motion and then take this, go to negative 200 and negative 130. So it's positive 130. It's in the top. So it is the y coordinate will be positive. So now here I give the same x and y coordinates, but in the length and breadth I'm going to take only 40 and 40 for length and breadth. But here for row and column I'm going to take if we saw this picture, there is 4 rows in 3 columns. Here 4 rows in 3 columns. So I've taken 3.2 as a and 4.5 as in B variable. So we need the 3 and 4. So for that, we can go to operators. From decimal numbers, you can always pick the whole numbers using the function floor. So when you take the floor of A will give you 3. So now the floor of A is the column. So we are going to put this into the column. And similarly, we can duplicate and switch the variable to B. So here we will get the whole integer 4. So for any decimal number, we use the floor, it will give that 3 and 4, that integers. If we use the ceiling of that, it will give the next integer. So 4.5 means it will give the 5 integer. If it is 3.1 means, if it is 3.2 means, it will give the next integer, that is 4. So we are now going to use floor. First we need the 4, and that is the verb. So we can start this here. It's because of the pen now. So here. So our pencil is now here, and we can draw the grid here, that is using the rectangles. Here also it is the same 3 columns, and here the number of rows 5. It is the first decimal digit of 4.5. First decimal digit of this side, that is 0.5. So we need to take that digit. Since the row and column here or in the repeat, it will only take integers. It will only take positive integers, not in decimal numbers or not in the uh, negative numbers. So we can pick another grid. can pick the another block, and now our pencil is in the correct position, so we can just choose the current position using the X position and Y position in motion. These are the current position of the sprite in the code. We can also see the current position of the sprite in the here in the X and Y also. So now our length and breadth will be here. It is the same breadth, but our length is the 1/10th of our square. So we have used 40 and 40 for the length and breadth. So we are going to use 4 and 40 and 40. So it is the same number of columns as the previous one. So we can just duplicate it and put it here. So for the number of rows, we need to take the 5 from this 4.5. For that, we can use the mod operator and also the multiplication operator. To multiply b with 10. So it will give us 45. So if we take mod 10 of 10 for the 45, it will give us the 5. So mod 10 means it will give us the remainder. Uh, when you divide a number with 3, the possible reminders are 0, 1, and 2. So the possible reminders of 10 is 0 to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So when you divide something with 10, we'll get the remainder 5. That is the second digit of that number. So that is why we multiplied it with 10 and then we took mod. So we can put it here. So it will give us 5. Drawn nicely the curve. So now our pencil needs to go here. So it has to move 3 steps, 3 boxes. So in each our square, our breadth is 40. So we need to change our X bar. Every time we will get the number of rows according to our variable k. So we're going to take that floor of a and multiply it with 40 because each block is 40 breadth. So if we just apply this, now it is in the correct position. And then we can set our y2, our y coordinate that is in this go to xy. So it's negative 130. It is the same height. We need to go there. So that's where we started using our y coordinate. So that is 130, positive 130. So it will. So now it's in the correct position again. Or you can just so again we take the current x position and y position and the grid of again same rectangle, but then now the rectangle is now in a vertical position, not in a broader way. It has a short breadth but the longer length. So we switch the length and breadth to 40 and 4. Now our number of rows in column is 2 rows. It is the first decimal digit of 3.2. And the number of rows is 4. It is from the 4.5. So we can just take this mod. Same, we are going to use the same mod operator. If we switch to A, we'll get the first decimal digit, that is the 2 from 3.2. So that number of columns we need. So we put it into the column, and it is again the same floor of B rows. final block. Again, current position, effects symbol. Now these are very small squares that is of size it's length and breadth are 1/10 of this big square, so that is 4 and 4. And now it is the number of rows and columns are the first decimal digit. So it's 2 rows and 5 columns. So it's the number of columns is the first decimal digit of this number, and the number of rows the first decimal digit of variable b. So we are just going to repeat, take the duplicate of the mod. So we put it into the row. We take the A mod in the column. Then so we can change it for any other number also. 6.5, 6.3 works. 6.3 in 4.5.